Here's what's coming up in our story today. Isaac's wife grasped the receipt, her eyes scanning it with a contemplative gaze. The cashier, sensing her focus, spoke up, "What are you looking at?" He let out a dismissive chuckle. "Don't waste your time on that receipt. I know that black people are illiterate, they can't read or understand what's on it." He waved his hand, urging her to leave. "Go on, I'll be serving the next customer." Please subscribe and keep following the story. Now, let's dive into the story and see how it all began. Isaac, a 29-year-old black man, resided in a peaceful neighborhood with his beloved wife. For many years, he had developed a routine of walking to a nearby store to pick up a few necessities. As the cashier scanned his items, Isaac couldn't help but feel a twinge of unease. The total always seemed higher than he expected, prompting him to request the receipt. Regrettably, the crafty cashier always seemed to have a clever excuse up his sleeve. "Oh, the ink must have run out." This excuse, however, seemed to change with each visit, leaving Isaac with a growing sense of suspicion and discomfort. Despite his persistent efforts, Isaac never actually took the time to carefully scrutinize the receipts once he had them. Instead, he would simply toss them into a drawer in the bedroom, content to let the mystery linger. After all, what harm could a few missing details on a receipt really do? Little did he know, those unexamined scraps of paper held the key to unlocking a far more troubling pattern. If only Isaac had taken the time to cross-reference each purchase, the full extent of the deception might have been revealed. It was just another day, or so Isaac and his wife thought, as they strolled into their usual store, ready to stock up on a few essentials. However, little did they know that their routine shopping trip was about to take an unexpected turn. As they stood at the cashier's desk, their eyes widened in surprise when they saw the total on the screen, and they couldn't help but wonder, what's going on here? Back at home, Isaac's wife couldn't resist the urge to ask the question that was burning on both their minds. "Isaac, why did the cashier charge us so much for these items? This just doesn't add up." Isaac, equally perplexed, shrugged his shoulders and replied, "I've been wondering the same thing, my dear. It seems like the cost of living has been steadily climbing, but this feels a bit excessive, even for these times." Determined to get to the bottom of this mystery, Isaac's wife declared, "I need to take a closer look at that receipt, just to be sure. Something feels off, and we need to figure it out." With a newfound sense of purpose, they both scrutinized the receipt, ready to uncover the truth. "Hold on a second," his wife exclaimed, her eyes widening with disbelief. "You need to see this." Isaac's curiosity piqued. "What is it?" he asked, leaning in. "Look at this receipt," she said, handing it to him. "We bought 10 items, but each one has been charged 2 to 5 times. They stared at each other, stunned. "I'll double-check the other receipts in the drawer to see if this is an isolated incident," she said, determination etching her features. As they sifted through the stack, the pattern became undeniable. All the receipts from the store reflect the same. "The cashier has been overcharging us," she exclaimed. Isaac shook his head, a mixture of disbelief and outrage. "How is this even possible? We've trusted this guy at the store, and all he's been doing is stealing from us." The realization hit them hard, leaving a bitter taste in their mouths. They had been taken advantage of, and it was time to get to the bottom of this unsettling discovery. "I'm never setting foot in that dreadful store again, not in a million years." Isaac huffed, his voice laced with indignation. His wife's eyes narrowed, a spark of determination igniting within them. "Oh no, we're not letting this slide, my dear. We're going back there, and I've got a plan," she declared, a mischievous glint in her eye. The couple strode back into the store, their expressions calm and collected. They proceeded to make a few more purchases, all the while keeping a watchful eye on the unsuspecting cashier. As expected, the unscrupulous employee seized the opportunity to pocket a portion of their payment. "I'll take that receipt, if you don't mind," Isaac's wife said, her tone dripping with feigned innocence. The cashier's eyes widened, a nervous chuckle escaping his lips. Why would you need that?" he asked, his voice betraying his discomfort. "Oh, I just want to make sure it's in my bag, that's all," she replied, her lips curving into a triumphant smile. Isaac's wife grasped the receipt, her eyes scanning it with a contemplative gaze. The cashier, sensing her focus, spoke up, "What are you looking at?" He let out a dismissive chuckle. "Don't waste your time on that receipt. I know that black people are illiterate, they can't read or understand what's on it." He waved his hand, urging her to leave. "Go on, I'll be serving the next customer." Isaac's wife's expression darkened, but she refused to be cowed. "That's a sad truth, but we've overcome greater obstacles. I was actually hoping to ask you about something else." She straightened her shoulders, meeting the cashier's gaze evenly. "Is there an opening for a job in this store? My husband is currently without work, and we're in need of the opportunity. Please subscribe and keep following the story." The cashier faltered, caught off guard by her composure and dignity. He opened his mouth, then closed it, unsure of how to respond. The woman seized the moment, her voice calm and resolute. "I may not have set foot in a school, but I know my own worth. All I'm asking for is a chance to provide for my family. Surely, that's not too much to ask." My friend, today is your day of fortune," he exclaimed, his eyes twinkling with excitement. "You see, another illiterate black dude has just departed, a rather useless black fellow who simply couldn't manage the shelves properly. Might this be a role that your husband would be interested in?" he asked, leaning in conspiratorially. "Yes," she replied, her voice filled with cautious optimism. Glancing around furtively, she leaned closer to Isaac and whispered, "The cashier has overcharged us again. Can you believe it?" I see," the cashier mused, stroking his chin thoughtfully. "Well, let me call over Jason, he's been searching for a replacement." "Hey, boss," he called out. "These black folks are looking for a job. Might you have a moment to speak with them?" The manager gestured warmly, "If you'll just follow me to my office, we can discuss the details further." "Excuse me, sir, but we're not here to apply for a job today. We've come to report an unfair incident that occurred at your cashier station just a few minutes ago." Jason looked puzzled as he asked, "I'm sorry, what are you talking about?" "We recently made a purchase here in your store, and, well, would like you to take a look at the receipt and compare it to the items we have with us." Jason scanned the receipt, his brow furrowing. "What are you implying?" he inquired. "I'm afraid your cashier crossed a line, sir. He outright told us, to our faces, that black people are illiterate, can't read, and wouldn't understand what's written on a receipt." The indignation in the customers' voices was palpable, as they recounted the offensive remarks. "Hold on, my friend. Do you have some sort of vendetta against my cashier? Are you here to make his life miserable?" Jason asked, his voice laced with a hint of concern. No, we're honest and truthful black people, who can read between the lines when others are disrespectful towards us." Suddenly, Jason's expression shifted, and he raised a hand in a placating gesture. Wait, let's not jump to conclusions here. It seems there's been an overcharge, and I assure you, that's not the norm." He leaned forward, his brow furrowed in concentration. "This guy has worked for me in this store for years, and has always been a model employee. It must have been a simple mistake, and I'm sure we can get it sorted out in no time." Holding up a finger, Jason continued, "Give me a minute, and I'll have this rectified for you. Now, I know you might not believe me, but this cashier is a truly trustworthy person. I vouch for him, and I'll make sure this gets taken care of to your satisfaction." Before you talk to your cashier, I think you need to take a look at this other receipt from earlier today, Isaac said, his voice laced with unease. He's done the same thing, he's overcharged us. Jason's brow furrowed as he examined the second receipt, his heart sinking with each passing moment. No, it can't be true, he muttered, his disbelief palpable. Determination flashing in his eyes, Jason straightened his posture. Give me a few minutes, and I'll look it up on the security camera to see if you're telling the truth. The seconds ticked by like an eternity as Jason reviewed the footage, his expression morphing from skepticism to shock. It's true. He breathed, his voice tinged with a mixture of betrayal and outrage. This is completely unacceptable. I've trusted this man so much, and now he's trying to ruin my investment. I won't be a part of these criminal acts. Jason's jaw clenched as he reached for his phone. I'm calling the police right away. This ends now. As Isaac and his wife anxiously awaited the arrival of the police, they diligently provided additional receipts, as further proof that the callous cashier had been deliberately stealing from unsuspecting customers. I am deeply sorry that you had to endure this unpleasant experience in my store, the mortified store owner expressed, his voice laced with sincere remorse. I wholeheartedly apologize for the cashier's deplorable behavior and the distress it has caused you. With a heavy sigh, he summoned the culpable employee to the office, determined to address this egregious breach of trust head-on. Isaac's eyes gleamed with anticipation as he posed the crucial question, are you willing to refund us the money he has overcharged us for all these years? The manager paused, considering the gravity of the situation. I will look into that and refund you what is evident, he replied, his expression thoughtful. However, I think I have a better idea. A mischievous glint flickered in his eyes. Is anyone between you able to take over as the cashier? I have an opening for his position, because he is going to jail today. A sly grin spread across his face. And I can make it even better, by increasing the hourly pay by $2. Isaac's wife, having previous experience as a cashier, didn't hesitate. She eagerly accepted the offer, her mind racing with the prospect of a fresh start. Just then, the office door burst open, and the police stormed in, followed closely by the embezzling cashier, his face etched with a mix of panic and resignation. Boss, the cashier reported with a condescending sneer. I knew these uneducated black folks were here to cause you trouble. He paused, eyes narrowed. Did they hurt you? He asked, dripping with false concern. The cashier's face twisted into a self-righteous glare as Jason demanded, Police, please arrest this man. He's been stealing from my customers. He triumphantly thrust a stack of receipts forward. I've got the proof right here. And I can send you the security camera footage to confirm his criminal behavior. The accused employee's voice trembled as he pleaded, Boss, this is all a mistake. I didn't do anything wrong. Yes, you did. Jason spat, his lips curling into a vindictive smile. I have the evidence. I don't want to see your face around here again. You're fired. He paused, relishing the words. And furthermore, these so-called illiterate black people are going to replace you as the cashier. Oh, please, boss, have mercy on me. I found myself in a dire financial situation, and in my desperation, I made the terrible mistake of overcharging my black customers, thinking they were all uneducated. I know now how wrong and unforgivable that was. I beg you to forgive me for my ignorance and prejudice. The police officer stepped forward, ready to take the cashier away. The cashier's abhorrent belief that black people are illiterate fueled his criminal greed, leading to his downfall. He has lost his job, and now faces the consequences of his actions behind bars. But there was a glimmer of hope in this dark tale. Isaac's wife, seeing the injustice, took over the position and served the community with the utmost integrity, restoring dignity and trust where it had been so shamefully betrayed. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to help our channel grow.